If we didn't have household applicants, then our system would never fulfill its purpose of helping the most vulnerable become self-sufficient. So, of course, we have a section that allows you to add household applicants. When you're on the system, when you're on the dashboard, you're going to want to go on the left-hand side of the screen and then click on the New tab. And once you do, you want to go down the list there, and then you'll see household applicant. If you can go ahead and just click on that. During the new household applicant process, we have a details box on the left-hand side of your screen. So as you're going through the different steps when adding a new applicant for the first time, the details accumulate within this box. Furthermore, as we look here, we have the name of the applicant. It also tells you if they are TFAP qualified. It gives you the amount of people that are in your household as you're entering in that information. It also shows you how many boxes that household receives. Any allergies that you select will be included there on that box. And also it shows you any warnings that are with the household. So basically, this food distribution box basically just gives us meticulous detail on how we can better serve our clients, and it also shows us what each household is receiving. When adding a new applicant to Feed the Nation, we actually put the SDI form into a digital format. So as we look here, we have 8 different steps. So at the basic section, you have the applicant's first name, last name, date of birth, phone number, and gender or identity. And then to the right of that, you also have the option to put in the address and zip code. A really cool thing about the zip code is that once you put that in, it automatically populates where that household is from in regards to the city and also the state. The next step in adding a new household applicant is actually adding new household members. So if they're coming in for the first time and you're asking how many are in the household, we have an easier way to do that. So as you enter in your data numbers, we have a couple of questions asking you different age ranges for your household. So as you enter those in, you will also see it accumulate. When I mean that, the numbers, they will accumulate on the left-hand side of the screen underneath the details box. Furthermore, if you would like, or if somebody is missing in the family that did not come by last distribution, you can add them by clicking on the New Household Member tab. And once you do that, you will want to enter in their new information based on a dependent, and as you update that, make sure and click Save Changes, and afterwards all of them should be saved to the system. So after you add a new applicant to the system and you have all their basic information in, it's time to go to the eligibility section. So basically, the eligibility section allows us as Feed the Nation to see if they qualify for a TFAP or a non-TFAP box. So here to the side, we have a couple of questions that we always ask our applicants, and it's if the applicant has received SNAP or food stamps, if they have received TANF, SSI, or Medicaid. Furthermore, if none of those apply to the applicant themselves, we go over to the right hand side of the interface where we ask them what their monthly income would be. And it usually is a rough estimate. However, we have automated income guidelines that are already in place into the system. So if they don't qualify by having SNAP or TANF, and they do qualify by having a monthly income, then that allows us to notify them if they do receive a TANF, or a TFAP or a non-TFAP box. Alright, so after you go past the eligibility section, you'll be on the extra info. Basically, the extra info is a lot of different questions designed for us to figure out exactly what we need to do to make the most vulnerable become self-sufficient. The first portion of the extra info section is the insurance section. Basically, just click on the tab under insurance and select yes, no, or Medicaid or Medicare. When a new household applicant is on the demographics section of the new application process, it is vital for them to answer the questions that pertain to their needs so their needs can be met. Therefore, underneath the Demographics tab, we do have a couple of questions. And to access those questions, click on the Nothing Selected tab. We do have some questions here, as you can see. The first one would be, does any member of the household have cancer? And then following, we have questions such as, any member of the household have high blood pressure? Is a diabetic? Is handicapped? Or is any member of the household looking for employment? We really take note of all of these questions and how they answer these so we can really help the most vulnerable become self-sufficient. The new household applicant already has the opportunity to select which type of work he or she might be interested in. To do so, click on the Nothing Selected tab, and then the different options for work should be located below. Just click on the type of work that you might be interested in. A new household applicant also has the opportunity to select any food allergies he or she may have. So what you do, just click on the Nothing Selected tab as before, and then right below that should show some of the food allergies. If there are any that pertain to your needs, just click on those if necessary. If not, just leave the options blank. After a new household applicant has completed the food allergy portion of the extra info process, they are more than welcome to try out the food preferences and the distribution week tab as well. For the food preferences, what we usually do for them is that they'll click on the Nothing Selected tab, and there located below are questions such as the applicant being a pescatarian, a vegan, or a vegetarian. Once he or she has answered those questions according to his or her liking, we do have the Distribution Weeks tab right below that. If you'll just click on the Nothing Selected tab as well. And once you do, you will see the different options, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just click on one of those, and you click on one of these depending on which week you got your USDA box. And the reason why we do this is to make sure that you only get one USDA box per month. So once you finish with all of these different tabs, just look in the bottom right hand corner and click on the Next button. After the Extra Info section, you will come upon the Private Notes section. Here you have a Warnings tab and you also have a Notes tab. So for the warnings, you just select that, and below you have a drop-down menu describing if they were either disruptive or rude, or if they were unable to speak English. This just gives the user a foreshadow of the next time that he might come in contact with this participant to let him know exactly what he'll be getting himself into. So that's why we have the Private Notes section. So you can fill that out as much as you'd like, especially for the notes portion. Write as descriptive as possible. For proxies, enter in the name of the person that is picking up the box for the applicant. Once you do so, click the Choose File button underneath to upload the document. However, most of the time proxies do come in with the note in hand, and with your computer you can actually scan the note to where it goes onto your computer, and then afterwards you can then upload it onto the system. Have a note that it is also valid for one time per a 6-month period. To add a new alternate, click on the New Alternate tab to enter in the person's name who is authorized to receive the applicant's box or boxes. Basically, an alternate is the authorization by the applicant to give permission for someone to pick up the USDA box if the applicant is unable to. Furthermore, that person is eligible to pick up the box for the next 5 months if needed. At the end of the 6 months, the applicant, however, has to re-sign the alternate. Therefore, once you click on the New Alternate button, enter in the alternate's name and then sign above. After the signature, click the Save button in the bottom right-hand corner of the white screen. One really cool feature of Feed the Nation is the Visits tab. And as you look here, this is mainly for the existing applicants. So as we go here, we'll go to the date, and that shows you the dates that the applicant had visited in the past for a food distribution. You have the ticket number for the applicant. It also tells you the amount of boxes that the applicant or the household had received. It also says or shows you the amount of people in the household, whether they received TFAP or not. It also shows you the user and specifics who signed that applicant up for the TFAP box for that month, and then it gives you the signature of the household applicant itself. So the Visits tab is so crucial because it actually allows for improved data collection within our system. The very last step in adding a new household applicant on the Feed the Nation website is through a signature. So as we see here on this screen, we are able to sign and save them for a TFAP or a non-TFAP box. Furthermore, if you would like to, we have a Documents tab located on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and that allows you to view any of the USDA non-discrimination statements, and you can do that before signing. And in addition to that is that it is also available in English and in Spanish. Furthermore, with the documents, you are able to install any Topaz signature pad drivers. We have a couple of models there for you, so you have a couple of options as well. And that is mainly for people who are not able to sign for the applicant on the interface itself. Alright, so once you finish with that, looking at documents, you're able to save and sign the applicant. In order to do that, select the Save and Sign tab in the bottom right hand corner. And to sign, you would either select Save TFAP or Save Non-TFAP. And if you don't even sign anybody up for a box for that month, you also have the option to save without signing. So basically you can just save the applicant info without signing them up for a box. After the applicant has gone through the process of receiving their TFAP or non-TFAP box, a notification pops up on the screen. After they save and sign, a message says if they are willing to share any basic demographic information with us or Feed the Nation. So basically, this information, this notification allows the participants, which are the applicants, to receive any text messages regarding any special events. So if they agree to share this information only based on their consent, we are then able, as Feed the Nation, to use their phone number or email address to give out to these employment programs and workforce boards to help these participants find any jobs or receive medical attention. Once you have answered the sharing demographic information prompt, you are then inclined to place the applicant's signature within that white box. So once you have signed off for the applicant, if they allow you to, then click Save in the bottom right hand corner of that white box. And once you do, you've successfully signed and saved a new household applicant onto Feed the Nation.